Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Paranormal True
Hey,
Crime.
hey.
This is part two, ladies and gentlemen. All parties are proven innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. We do have to say that this is for entertainment purposes only. Welcome, Gary. Welcome, Tess. Let's see who else is sliding in. Walsis. Hello there. Jim Cameras at Dawn. Welcome. Hey, Crystal. Nice to see you there, Crystal. Glad to have you. Hopefully, you enjoyed your camping trip. And we got Kelly Doe backstage. Hello, Karen. Welcome, Karen. Law's backstage. We got a lot of people starting to filter in the psychics and everybody. So, Bob, what do you
What's
think
up,
about this
buddy?
case?
This is, I'm telling you, I'm kind of emotionally involved. I'm like really upset about this case. I really hope we get something we can hand off that helps.
Yeah,
The
let me give a round of applause to everybody here. Welcome, everybody, for tuning in. So we have been working on a case, and for the ones that are now tuning in, that's never tuned in before, we're broadcasting on another channel tonight out of UK. Thank you for the admins and moderators for letting us put our program in your group. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it. And we will do the same likewise with your all shows. Just let me know and I'll give you the link. But what we do is, ladies and gentlemen, is we will take cases that are submitted in from around the world, and they are either nationally known cases, local cases, forgotten cases, and whatnot. Hello, Carol. Welcome. And we will cover the case of what we know that is divulged by the media and court documents. And then we will, second round, part two, is we have a panel of psychics that are around the world that uses different techniques to use their abilities to give us some information regarding whatever case we're looking at. So hopefully, with any information that they can bring forward, that we can bring some resolution to the friends and family of everybody, and also to any law enforcement agency out there. Now, I know how it is working with law enforcement when it comes to people with abilities, so there's still a stigmata about that. But, however, whatever we can do for the friends and family and the law enforcement agencies out there, it's our superficial duties to try to help to bring information forthcoming. So this case was very hard, ladies and gentlemen. This case was the first time that I ever asked the panel of people to work on two people at one time. So I do not know what to expect. And so what's going to happen is Bob and I are going to bring on each person one at a time. And they're going to introduce themselves and they're going to tell you who they are, what they do, and how they get the information. Now, when Bob and I give information to the panel, we only provide a photograph and no other details. And they use whatever remote viewing, their psychic abilities, mediumship, and whatnot, dowsing, and so forth. And I'll let them explain that to you all. Towards the end of the show, if y'all have any questions, I go through there and do a recap to give the psychic some feedback and some news clippings, let them know where they stand, and give them some real time facts to help them validate. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when we do these shows, you're not going to have 100% accuracy, okay? And just like, Angela Ford, when she worked for the Defense Intelligence Agency, you're not going to be right 100% every time. So that's why we have a panel, is because each person is going to have a piece of that puzzle to put together to bring us a picture. Okay, so keep that in mind. And as you're going through each person that's coming forward with their information, it's going to paint you a picture. Now, each person keeps me out. The people with abilities, psychics, mediums, however you want to call them, clairvoyants or whatnot, they do not tell me their findings, because this way they do not contaminate the other psychics with their findings. Because if you do not believe it, I have the psychics reach out to me all the time. They're like, Grizzly, what's wrong? And it's like, oh, I'm behind on posting ads. I'm trying to get my show notes done, my advertisements, my promos. So they know and they can read my energy across the world. So I stay neutral and they don't talk to me and I don't talk to them about the case. So for whoever's tuning in for the audio and for the first time, if you have any question towards the ends, please do not hesitate to ask. And when we bring them on, and if you have a question, feel free to ask, because they do not know what they're getting involved in. So I don't know how this is going to go. So, Bob, overall, how do you think we're going to do?
I think that there's such strong emotions involved with this, because just the way I'm feeling, and I heard Lala make some notes, and she got really kind of emotional and so forth. I didn't say anything to her, tell her anything. I just heard her doing her thing, and I suspect all of them, who are all very talented, are going to have a really, really big psychic and emotional connection to this. And it's a case that I really want to solve, because that's got me all worked up.
Right. And I want to give a big shout out to Michael K and Kelly R. And Michael K is in the United States. And I thank Kelly R is in the UK for letting us broadcast on their channel. Thank you. A round of applause. I greatly appreciate that. And I do respect you all. Y'all got a very good reputation. And I'm honored to even have another platform to broadcast on. So first up, the one and only Kelly Joe.
Hello,
Kelly.
everybody.
Introduce yourself and tell
I
everybody who you are, what you do, and how you do things.
I am a clairvoyant psychic and medium, and I just get the picture and I read off it.
Okay.
The first thing that I got with this, 5 people involved, and it's related. They keep telling me it's related, it's related. Also, I hear kidnapping, and was there a ransom?
Not to
Because
my knowledge. A lot of this case did not make the media like the other cases.
okay,
So
but
I cannot answer that. Now, the information that I researched, it did not have any of that information released or stated or documented. And I can say that much.
okay, but I see that the 2 people are related in some way, but they feel like it feels kidnapping. That's what I get. And 5 people were involved, and they were bound. They feel like they're passed on, but they feel bound and tortured to me.
Okay.
And it was planned, and somebody knew it feels mobbish to me, because it's like, we'll kill your dog, your cat, your family, all that. So somebody saw something and they used these people as bait, pawns. That's what I'm getting. They wanted something for them. That's what I'm getting.
Okay.
And
And what is this picture right here?
yes,
And what is this picture?
they feel like they're related.
Okay. And how did you get this picture?
You just sent it to me.
That is correct.
I know nothing else.
Okay. I just want to state that for the record. This is the picture that I sent out to the panel. The panel is assembled worldwide across different continents and across the country, and it's in a group. And this group got this picture. Now, we had to pull a couple of other pictures because people with abilities, ladies and gentlemen, have to see the eyes clearly. So my picture is a little bit blurry.
But
Anything else you'd like to add?
I only
Go ahead,
supplied them
Bob.
with I only supplied them with 6 more pictures. They got no other information.
Okay, good. Anything else, Kelly Joe, you like to add?
But there's something like something was held over the family's head. That's what I'm getting.
Okay.
That's all I got on it.
All right, then. All right. Stand by there, Kelly Joe. And let's see here where you at. Thank you very much, Kelly Joe. All right. Next up, she's holding her face. Donna, I'm coming to you.
Sorry.
Hello there. Let me get
Hi.
rid of these pictures here. Welcome. Introduce yourself. Hello, Caroline.
I'm Donna. I'm a psychic medium, clairvoyant. And how I get my information is this case has got me on. I channel and I remote view.
Okay.
Two pictures that were just up. We were given. I got they are related. It's a mother and a daughter. I made contact a little bit. The mother is a teacher. Then I saw the house. It's a white house, old, barnish looking, like the top's like barnish looking. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, because
Yes,
I'm
I
from
do.
the city, so the houses ain't like that here. It's like a 2-floor in the front. And what I saw was a black car, medium size, 4-door, slowly pull up and shut the lights off. Pretty much, this was like, I felt early evening, because I saw they were still dressed. And as they pulled up, they went through like bushes and went to the front door and ambushed again.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, and when each person comes onto the show, I want you to listen to the articulation. When I say articulation, I want you to listen to the words that they are using to describe something. Because at the end, all this is going to come full circle, okay? Go ahead, Donna.
I saw they went to the door. One of them went to the door. 5 involved. I feel one is a female. Sorry, my dog's in the background.
It's all right.
They went after the young girl first. Can you stand up for me just once? And what they did to her. Just no. They beat her to death. And they slashed her through. And they went after the mother. I think they used the little girl to get the mother to talk or something. I felt like somebody was involved, and I couldn't put anything like related. I don't know. I couldn't put anything related from like the last case. And then they beat the mom and shot the mom. But I felt there was 5 involved and one was a female. And they ambushed. It was a black car.
What color car?
Black.
2-door, 4-door?
4.
Okay. Anything else you like to add?
This is an awful case. I mean,
It really is. One of the things that I told Bob when we decided to take the case, I was very concerned for everybody on the panel for two reasons: the nature of the case and two people involved. And people don't understand that some people that have abilities can sense and pick up emotions and also can feel
the
what
trauma.
was done when it comes to trauma and
Yeah.
the abuse and so forth.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
We pick up. Well, I know I pick up what's done to them. I pick up. I feel it. So,
Right.
but I just don't know why. Well, I think what they did to the little girl, well, she's like 16-ish, I think, was, I don't know, it was like they were trying to get something out of the mom or something. And I just couldn't put the connection. I don't know. And then they went after the mom.
Okay.
But it was a horrific sight.
Thank you, Crypto Cowboy. Greatly appreciate that. That really helps us out a lot. Thank you. All right, Donna, check your phone and we'll come back to you here in a few minutes. Thank you very much. And sorry for the emotional roller coaster ride there.
It's okay. It's the job.
Okay, now welcome Aussie Sue. Now she's already smiling because she knows that she's up next in ball. Come on
Hi
down.
guys, how are you?
Hello. So
That was a very moving testimony from Donna. I got about half of it. That was really emotional. I personally work with tarot cards, which provides a certain level of detachment so that I see more than I feel most of the time. Most of the time, because
right.
with these arts, you never really know how it's going to hit you. So
where
as
are you
always,
from, Inbol?
I'm broadcasting live from the north of England, where it is a little past 11 p.m.
Yes,
which is
ma'am.
not
Thank
past my bedtime yet.
Okay, thank you.
So I never check anything before we're actually live because I think that gives me the freshest delivery, the most accurate information that I can get. And also, as you mentioned before, Chris, every word is meaningful. And I think as I deliver the reading live, it gives all the exact right words. Whereas if I were to sort of write it down, I might be tempted to sort of make it sound, like, better in English. And I might lose some of the important nuance. So I prefer to go live. So what I'm going to do is switch my own screen around so that I'm not seeing you, so that I'm seeing the images. And I've got what appears to be a mother and a daughter, but we don't know. We don't have any information about them. And I'm going to start just by taking a couple of general tarot cards for each of them.
Okay.
And their situations. Aha, right. This is really, really interesting because each of them appears to have a completely different way of relating to the crime or to the mystery that we're looking at. Because I took cards for the elder lady first, and all I got was like knives, knives, knives. So I've got like sharpness, coldness. So whatever happened to her was very unemotional, very unfeeling, as if she was an afterthought. And actually, what appears to be more of a crime of passion is around the younger lady, because around her, I've got a lot of big emotions, a love that had happened, somebody who she had known from school, either gone to school with as a fellow pupil, or someone who maybe worked at the school. So the connection of whoever is the bad guys here, I feel, is towards the younger lady, and she's the one who was the main target and the main begetter of the drama that we're experiencing here. And what I've got around her is education, passion, and I've got her hurt and hit with hands and with a blunt object. So I would see her as being strangled and kind of bashed, smacked with something heavy, with something metal, like an iron or a crowbar or something that would have delivered blunt force trauma, whereas I see the elder lady as having been cut. So that's kind of the start that I'm making towards this. Let's see who we've actually got that caused this. Right, so I've got two people here who I see as the actual perpetrators of the crime, but I feel like they are part of a larger conspiracy. So it's not something, in my view, that just happened. It's not like a burglary gone wrong or an accidental mistaken identity or anything like that. Not at all. It feels like it was something that was premeditated, and two people had entered wherever the ladies were with the purpose of harming them. Interestingly, it doesn't look like the plan was necessarily to kill. It looks like the plan was to harm, to inflict unhappiness, to inflict damage on them. And I feel like both people were armed, but I see them armed with quite a random collection of objects. And I feel like they were backed up by at least 3 other people, maybe even more. So there are a lot of people who know what the plan had been in the first place, which brings me to ask the question, what was the plan in the first place? What's underpinning this story? So even though I could see love and big emotions around the younger lady, I don't feel that that was the motive. I feel like that was a circumstance. I feel like the motive was, and I don't even have the right words for it, I feel like people came to their home to abuse them for fun. I don't have the right word for it. To abuse them for some kind of sick sport. It was like an activity, and I feel like she was picked on for practically no reason. I feel like any link to a motive would be a little tenuous, because sometimes people just do things without necessarily a lot of thought, without necessarily a lot of reason. So let's ask what clues we have around when looking to resolve this. Right. What's really interesting to me is that I feel like the people who attacked them, the people who assaulted them, had left clues where they were, but I feel like the clues were dismissed or ignored because they weren't impressive enough. I feel like there were dropped coins. I feel like there were footprints, but nothing got taken that seriously because it wasn't anything obvious. And I feel like the two people who were actively engaged with the attack were known. I'm quite certain to the younger lady, but vaguely known to the older lady as well. I've got the younger lady communicating to show that I don't know what the word is that I'm looking, like a barbaric, that they poured at her, that they hurt her with their hands so that it was intended to make her suffer, but not really for anything. It was really like an extreme case of bullying times a million, and that there was a certain pleasure that the attackers got from carrying out the attack. But I feel like evidence is there. I feel like it did exist. It does exist. I know that sometimes we look at missing persons. So let me just sort of see if there's any, mysterious clues that we're looking at. And all it's showing is showing me a vehicle going away. It's showing me a vehicle that's the shape of kind of a utility vehicle that workmen would use, but it's kind of souped up to go a little bit faster. So maybe somebody there knew their way around an engine. I feel like it's young men, which I was saying before. What was I saying before? I feel like it's young men who either sort of worked in the school or worked on the local school bus or anything like that. And I feel like there has already been correspondence between the younger lady and the perpetrators. So I'm really, really confident that it's somebody that she knew. Now, I'm very tarot. I'm just looking at the tarot, but every time I take my eyes off to look at the tarot and I look back at the picture of the young lady is moving to me. So that makes her, in my sort of psychic mind, very much the person that I need to communicate with, and that is like obviously super unusual. So I feel like she has a lot to say about it. She has a lot of information, and in searching through her personal correspondence, diary, emails, phones, anything like that, there should be a lot of clues. Let me just ask, one of the favorite things that I like to
Yes,
ask
absolutely.
the most is whether the people will be brought to justice, whether the guilty parties will be caught and will be brought to justice. Right, and this is the first time on your podcast that I've had to say, no, I feel like the people are not caught, the people are not brought to justice. I feel like what we've got here is quite a catastrophic chain of events where neglecting to follow up in a timely manner right after the crime means that evidence has either gone missing because of the passage of time, or has been purposefully destroyed, which is very strange for me to say, but I feel like there is kind of a connection of silence around around the crime, where nobody wants to point at anyone else, even though there is a good number of people that know what was going on. So that's what I've got there.
I'll be honest with you there, Enbo. You are 100% right on target. And it gets a lot worse, doesn't it, Bob?
It's horrible.
So, I mean, I want to say more, but we have other people in line.
Yeah,
you are.
I'll be waiting right here to find out.
You're right. You're right in line. So, yes, thank you so much. Stand by.
Thank you, guys.
So, this is, ladies and gentlemen, you all know the case. Let's see here. Next up, Angela, come on down. Wie geht's, meine Freundin? Wo haben Sie bitte? Guten Tag, ja?
Ja, vielen Dank for having me on the show.
There she goes. Now she's going to speak German. Okay, introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are.
I'm Angela Boley. I am a psychic artist. I am a medium, so I paint portraits and images that spirits show me. I had some very violent images that were shown to me. So I used a bunch of different techniques. I will also use runes. I will connect with the deceased. I will dive into any images or feelings and emotions that they're experiencing. And what I got was, I kept getting the impression that the mother just had an off feeling that they were being followed a lot, that they were being stalked a lot. And just that day, she just had a feeling of something's off, something's not right. I feel like we're being followed. And the mother just was trying to calm the daughter down. Like, okay, let's just keep our heads together. Let's see how we can handle this. But this man just stepped out of the shadows, like literally, like almost if he came, like suddenly a violent attack out of nowhere. Something they weren't prepared for, and the target was the young girl, and I feel like it was a mother-daughter, and that he was going after her. He saw her as kind of like a toy to play with, and in really awful ways. I see the mother. I've seen severe injuries to the mother's face. I got strangulation. I got torture for the daughter, though, and the mother kept telling me, I tried to offer myself first. I tried to stop them. I tried to offer myself in place of my daughter, to get them to leave my daughter alone when this started happening, but she was ultimately helpless, and I see severe beating. And I saw the mother at the bloody face and head injury, and I saw broken teeth, broken nose, and I felt like the daughter was strangled. And I kept seeing like indications of covering up. And I got the impression of, there were also, I used different cards and runes, and it was said there was kept getting that the mother was very smart, someone that's very well educated. And this was a grave misfortune. So it was planned to a certain extent, but I think once the perpetrator or perpetrators got to attacking, it was more of, this is fun, let's just keep going with this. And I did submit a sketch, because the mother kept showing me this man over and over again, that I sent to you. I just very quickly sent it to you in a private message.
I'm bringing it up as we speak. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
And I kept seeing a baseball cap, kind of on the young side. And I kept seeing that he does some sort of industrial type work or something related to floors. I kept seeing hard, like concrete floors, like an industrial type setting. It could even be a school setting where there's concrete floors, and I smell a lot of cleaning supplies. things of that nature. I kept getting see the baseball cap. I wasn't 100% sure was what was on his cap. I just picked up there was something white on the top, some sort of insignia. But she kept saying his eyes were dark, slightly heavy set. She was showing, indicating slightly heavy set and a slightly wide face. But she kept showing me this person over and over again as being involved in this. But definitely the daughter was a target. And the mothers kept saying to me, and it was hard for me to get information because the mother was so emotional and getting with her emotions. She said, I tried to be my daughter's angel. I tried to be her angel. I tried to offer myself. I tried so much to protect her, and I just couldn't. It was really, really hard to dive into that type of emotion for the mother to go through this. And because to see this happening to her daughter and then not having any power to stop it. And this man this male sees women as objects only. I also got there was love relationship related to the daughter. But this male, it's these people, they do this because they hate themselves. How can they do it that way? And they're jealous that there's decent human beings in the world, and they want to eradicate that, and they see everything as a play toy, especially the daughter, and all they get pleasure at this kind of suffering. It was extremely brutal, and it was extremely fast. So he just stepped in and just started attacking them, the daughter first, and then the mother last. And I got that they covered up, but it was very sloppily. So they left a lot of evidence. There was evidence everywhere of who these people are, and what they did is everywhere. There is such a incredible amount of evidence. I think I feel like the police would be accused or suspected of maybe not gathering all the evidence when they should have, and kind of discarding it, not really taking it seriously as they should have, because I feel like it was hastily, the evidence that these perpetrators, this particularly that male perpetrated, that's the dominant figure in this, the dominant instigator. I feel like he is a narcissist in the sense that he also is a manipulator too. So he can manipulate other people into covering up for things and doing things for him. And there's a trail that leads us, like they know who this guy is. Everybody knows who this guy is. They've seen him, they know him. The mother saw him. She actually looked at him. I could see her looking in the rearview mirror and seeing him in the car, looking up and seeing him, and knowing that he was following them. And that's when she started to panic. The daughter started to panic. Let's go home, shut the door, gather our thoughts. And then that attack happened, and they just forced their way into the situation and just brutally attacked both of them.
Okay. Thank you, Angela. Stand by. Did a good job. Stand by. Next up, Lala. Give me thumbs up if you're ready. She said, yes, I'm ready. Welcome, Lala.
Hi, everybody. I'm
All right,
Lala.
introduce yourself and tell us what you do and how you get your information.
I'm Lala. I am a psychic medium, and I just talked to people or beings that have passed, and they show me pictures, and I decode what they're trying to say. This one was horrible. So she kept showing me the internet with the girl. Something about internet stalking. I don't know. So there's a link to this girl more from the bad guys. I don't think they wanted. I feel there were two men. One was older, like maybe 50s, early 50s. One was younger. The older guy was white with brown hair, straight brown hair, kind of like I guess a bowl cut, glasses, mustache. Younger one was darker skin but white and thick short hair. Um, I feel that this has been going on for a while, and it was originally the older guy. I feel he has a partner. I can hear the girl mainly shows up, the mom doesn't show up much, and the girl keeps yelling, Mom, Mom. So she was yelling for her mom. They weren't together, they could hear each other screaming. Um, and it was for pleasure. This is for pleasure. I think they usually like to do one person at a time. They keep saying the number 7. Um, and something about her dad tried to help, but something happened, and they kept saying similar to me. I don't know what that means. Hopefully, nothing messed up. But something happened to Dad. He tried helping. This is linked to other cases in like maybe the town or the state or something. And whoever tries to help gets hurt somehow or scared, something goes wrong. That makes me think, not psychically, but makes me think maybe someone in the law has a connection with this.
Okay.
I feel that things are being kept quiet on purpose. And I think it's going to keep happening, unfortunately.
Okay.
The girl just shows me a lot of trauma. It was painful, and it didn't seem quick to me, but I might be wrong. But
No, you were spot on. So yes, spot on. Thank you. So stand by there, Lala. Next up, Melinda, come on down. Welcome.
Hi, Chris.
Hello
Okay,
there.
so my name is Melinda Williams. I am a psychic detective. I'm an evidential medium and a criminal profiler. I use different modalities. Of course, my mediumship. I use the criminal profiling. Also, I use dowsing, and I can touch. So, like when you send us the picture, I can touch the picture. I will start getting images of what is happening. So the only thing I received was a photo of the two females. I do feel that they are close family, possibly mother and daughter. I was shown a home. It was white with black shutters. It was like a field. I do feel that they were killed together. The older female kept coming to me. She was showing me something about a school. I heard singing. I was shown the month of April. And for some reason, that has a significance to when this happened or around when this happened. The younger female, she showed me an initial of S. I feel like that she was trying to give me her name. They showed me a knife, but I also heard a gun. So I felt like the younger one was stabbed. And then I felt wetness around my throat. So that was telling me maybe possibly her throat was a cut. But she was also beaten. I feel the older female was shot and stabbed possibly. And I feel like they were in a chair, like tied, because they kept showing me rope. So that tells me they were tied to something. Okay, so now this is where I get into a lot of different things. I feel that this is directly, because I do the dowsing on the maps to try to figure out where this is, what state it's in. I got Kentucky. I feel this is very connected to the case we done before, a couple of weeks ago, because
Referencing Jason Ellis,
Yes,
the
the
police
officer.
officer. Okay.
Yes, because he came into the picture as I was connecting to them. So that usually is a reference to that it is connected to that case. I don't feel the way they were showing it to me, I feel it was more of a warning to other people that are aware of some things that is going on in that town. I do not feel law enforcement is involved. I do not get that at all. I get that it's a ring of people. And the main reason is because of what I'm fixing to go over now. I was shown a car. It was dark in color, so that could be black or brown. It just shows me dark. I do know it was 4-door. And then I usually, once I get a vehicle, I do try to get possibly any kind of tag or the make or model. I was shown a Chevy, and it was either a Malibu or an Impala. And I got a partial tag, and I don't know if it's in any certain order. I just got the letter X, P, 3, and 7. And this is the weird part that came in. I was shown a whiskey distillery. I don't have a clue why, but the older female
do.
kept showing me a distillery. And I feel that these people are connected to this distillery. Maybe they work there, maybe, I don't know. But then I was shown a number, which was 512. I do feel that this was personal, but not personal to these two per se. I feel they did know the people. That's how they got in. I feel that this was really planned because I feel there was no evidence really left per se. They kept showing me something about a phone, and something was wrong with their phones because they were trying to call, but there was something wrong with their phone. And it was almost like, she was showing me, the older female was showing me, she was trying to use the phone, but it wouldn't dial out to try to get help. Then I sent Grizz some pictures. I did include the drawing from last time because I feel it is connected to this case. But I got
And here
2
we
more
go, ladies and
pictures.
gentlemen. So we referenced this photograph on the last case, and we realized who this gentleman was. He was actually arrested for possibly, allegedly killing Crystal Rogers in Bardstown, Kentucky. Now, with that information being released, nobody knew about this on the last case. And after our show aired, ladies and gentlemen, 3 hours, we got confirmation from 2 different sources that the judge reclused himself from the case, which they were trying to get him off the case from the get-go. Now, it's awful strange because the message we got was after the crime show, the judge was like, "I'm out. I'm off the case." The verbiage was media related. We don't know who wrote the verbiage, but it was sent to us by 2 different people. So here's picture 1. And I want you all to look very hard at these pictures because I want to explain why in a minute. Picture 2. Bob ought to recognize this picture.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, I'm not going to say anything else towards the end, but here's picture 3. Picture 2. Picture 1. And we'll cover the pictures at the end, and I'll explain why. Go ahead, Melinda.
Okay. So then it was either the name, the younger female was showing me a name, and it was either Joe or Jay. I know it started with a J, and she did show me like this. So that's an L. So I felt like that was with the last name. And this person does know what happened. And he's connected to the Jason Ellis case also. And, you know, they're all right there in that town. And the reason I feel that these two were targeted is as a warning to the other people that have knowledge of what Jason was working on. And it's like a warning to them. If we can get into these people, you can't stop us. So it's like a warning to them. That's everything I got. That's what I feel has happened.
Wow. Wonderful. Stand by because it's all going to come together. Thank you very much. Kat, welcome to the show. Introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kath. I douse a remote view. I'm probably called a clairsentient if you're using the clairs. I kind of sense things, sense energy. I've done a little bit of forensics, bit of criminal psychology. My background's information security. But basically, I like to douse. You know, I find stones and things like that. This case, I'm going to try and keep calm. It's very, very upsetting. Usually I will just get the faces. In this situation, I accidentally was front loaded. I found out I accidentally saw it was a double. So I assumed it was a double murder. I had to assume they had already passed over. And because of the case that we did last time, the case I called Goodman, that was Jason Ellis, I connected 5 murders all in that one group with Jason Ellis's murder, which made it very, very tricky to zone it down to exactly what was going on and who was involved. So this time I feel I was a little bit front loaded regarding the location. So then I just assumed that I'm calling, and I don't mean to be rude because I don't know who they are. Like, I just get a photo and then I go from there. So in this situation, I assumed they were connected to Jason Ellis's case. So that made me have to do my questioning a lot. I was more intricate than usual because of the connections back, and I had to keep re-verifying myself because I didn't want any hints or anything like that. Like all the others, you know, we just get the photos and off we go. Sometimes we'll just get a case number, you know, no photos. So then we just truck on. I'm sorry I'm in business mode, but it's so upsetting. So I've got to keep it together. Excuse me for this. I wasn't able to print it out, so I'm going to have to read it from the phone. I've got written on here, Kath, be careful. This one, re-verify all. Okay, so I've called it Red and Bob. So Bob is what I've now found out is the mum, and the daughter I've called Red. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be cold or rude. Okay, so bear with me. Okay, so when we start the cases, usually we ask, are they UTLs? In this situation, I had no, because they're found. It's a USA case. I had please excuse me, I'm going to call them Bob and Red. I've got Bob and Red were not alive. Then I've asked, were they both murdered at the same event? Yes. Are the murders connected to Goodman case, which is Mr. Ellis? Yes. Were they shot? I couldn't get a clear answer on that, so I had to go deeper. So then I asked, was the mother shot? Yes. Was the daughter Red? No, she wasn't shot. So I have to keep going down now, and I'm still thinking this is still related to the Goodman case. This is all my senses going. Okay, so then I've got, is it the same shooter from the Goodman case? Yes. Do they still home safe store their guns? Yes. Was the gun used for all 5 murders? Yes. Are the other murders I picked up on the Goodman case also connected? Yes. Were the young girls the original target? No. Was the mother the original target? Yes. This is Bob. Were they murdered as a clean, like a cleanup regarding the connections to the first murder? Yes. Is Bob Red's mother? Yes. Did either Bob or Red know the perp? So then, because we got two people here, we got to keep, it's really hard to separate your head. Sorry. Is Bob's Red's mother? Yes. Did either Bob or Red know the perp? Bob knew the perp, Red didn't. Did they know any of the other victims personally? This is going back to the other 5 cases? Yes. Did Bob know one of the other victims? Yes. Oh, it's hard on this phone. Did Red know any of the other victims? No. Was Red killed first? No. And then I've got how were they killed? So then I've had to separate them both. So Red, hands choked and bashed. So I've had to get into that bit. So what killed Red? Strangulation, bash, all of that. So I ended up with bash injury and a head injury. I found that she was bashed first, then strangled. She had a terrible head injury, and then she was finished off. Then I've got, was the perp, it evolves further. It's not very pleasant. Was the perp one of the first responders at the Goodman event? I've got yes. Was the perp a law enforcement rep? Yep. Was Bob protecting Red? Yes. How was Bob killed? Gun, bashed. What injury actually killed Bob? Gun. Was it the same gun used in the Ellis Goodman case? Yes. Then I go into the murder weapon because I'm still trying to connect it all back up to Mr. Ellis. So I've got the murder weapon. Was it a long arm, handgun? I ended up with a long arm, semi-auto, large caliber. Does the perp still have the gun with him? Yes. Was he the same perp that murdered Red? No. So this got interesting. How many perps were there? I'm still getting 3, the same as the first case. Were they the same perps involved with the Goodman Ellis? Yes. Are these perps still employed with the G? Yes. Is one of the shooters a professional sniper? Yes. Comp shooter? Yes. Military, SAS I've got. Are they employed in the same positions they were at the time of the murders? No. Do they still reside in the area of the victims? No. Sorry, this is hard to do it off the phone. Okay. Are they employed elsewhere in the force? Yes. Are all 3 still in the force? No. This got interesting too. How many of the perps are still on the force? 2. Are they working together? Yes. Were they transferred together at the same time? Yes. How far away were they transferred? 0 to 20, I had to calculate it. 60 to 100 miles from the original location where they were employed. Do the 2 perps remain in the state? Yes. Was there a falling out? Because I tried to figure out what happened to the 3rd perp. Because it was really weird because they'd always done things together until now by the looks. Was there a falling out with the 3rd perp? Yes. Is perp 3 alive and breathing? No. Was he murdered by a G employee? Yes. Then I've got clue. Check who passed away out of the group of 3 friends. 2 transferred to another location 60 to 100 miles away. The 2 perp comp shooters remain because I checked out which of the ones were the comp shooters from the last case to see if these were the same ones that are still, brutalizing everyone. Did perp 1 and 2 murder perp 3? Yes. Has perp 3's body been found? No. Has he been reported as a UTL? No. Are his seniors saying he is on, I've tried to figure out what's going on. So his seniors say he's on leave, on holiday, and ill. Was the perp who shot Bob the same perp who shot Goodman? Yes. And I'm really sorry, I don't mean to be cold. It's hard. Look. Was Bob's friends with the perp's family and friends? Yes. So I'm trying to get the connection to how the 5 murders are connected. Did Bob find out what the perps were hiding? Yes. Did they come for Bob and Red? Yes. Red was there. They were both together. Were the perps involved in illicit money? Yes. Was Bob and Red murdered within half an hour of each other? Because I didn't know if it was a double murder. So there I'm back re-verifying so that I'm checking on my front loading. So was Bob and Red murdered within half an hour of each other? Yes. So there's the double. Then I've got see the Goodman report. It like the last report I put in, it all connects up again. So now I've got, are there any perps involved? Like, yes, so we've got 3. Then I had to go back to my normal type of reporting. Is the law favourable to the UTL? No. Were any members of the law involved in the disappearance? Yes. Sorry, everyone. Then we've jumped. The UTL is not alive. No, they've passed over. Yes. Does the person want to be found? Yes. Okay. They were taken against their will, forced and threatened. And then I've got to find, in this case, the UTL, we try and see if they've been found or not. I've got, has the UTL been found? Yes. This is weird, this part. The body identified? Yes. Has there been an autopsy? No. Cause of death truthfully recorded? No. I've got their human perps. The 2 ladies have still not gone to the light. They're still between planes. So they come up as being, earthbound, but not really earthbound. Are the media involved? Yes. Family assisting? Yes. Sincerely? Yes. Then I had to find out when it was. It was more than a year ago. I've got the little girl being around 20. The mum 40 to 50. Okay, then I've got to get into the gruey bit, so please excuse me. The injuries. I've got head, neck, arms. That was for Red. Oh, no, that was for Bob, sorry. Head, neck, and arms. Then I've got for Red, head, body, and hands. It feels like she really put up a really good fight. Like she really tried hard. And the mum and both of them, that really, really tried hard. I have to keep going. Defensive wounds. There was a phone, a transmitter, and a tracking device involved. And there's data stored. I've got, has it been found? Yes. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Hang on, I'm nearly there. Sorry. Okay, so then I have to go back into how each one was injured. So I'm on Bob now. Gun and hand. How many involved in causing the injury? For Bob, there were 2 involved. For Red, 2 involved. Are the perps the same first responders to Ellis? Yes. There was prior intent. These guys are like serial killers, psychopathic nutsos. The T word comes into it. Money seems still to be the main problem here. The force, then we've got suffocation, strangling for Red, and I've got mum was shot. Then I've got, is the perpetrator connected to, I've got to try and find out how the connections are. I've got family, friends, drugs, CT, WS, and G. But the main thing still keeping coming out is money. Is the perp connected to a larger group? Yes. International? Yes. Are there officials in the system involved? Yes. GC, CIA. Why were the girls a target? I've got Bob owed money. Was Red there by chance? Yes. Did it happen at home? Yes. Any vehicle movement? No. I've got they haven't been transported anywhere, though. It seems like they were at home. I've got was read SA previous to the murder event, because I'm still trying to find why they so aggro. Yes, sadly. By one of the perps, yes. It turns out it's the best shooter perp. That the one that I feel wins competitions. He seems to be the boss, this guy. Is perp one a family friend? Yes. Was the other female Vic connected to Goodman? There was another one in the 5 with the Goodman case that I don't know about. I'm thinking this is Crystal that you're talking about now. Okay. Was the other female Vic connected to Goodman? I've got yes. So that's Crystal, I think. No animals involved. I've got where is the third perp? Was he just a view this time? A viewer? Yes. So he didn't actually shoot or maim. Did perp 3 commit any crime against Bob or Red? No. So this is where this perp 3 seems to me like he's disappeared. He's been knocked off. Was perp 3 involved in the other female murder? Yes. Was perp 3 involved in the male murder? No. Was the shooter involved in Goodman Bob Red the same shooter as the male murder? Yes. Murderer. Yes. Okay, I'm nearly there. Sorry, everyone. Were all 3 perps at the male murder? Yes. Okay, so I've got no movement. So they must, I feel they were at home. Is there double movement from one place to another? No. Did they change transport? No. And then I've got location above ground between planes. Where it was located, the actual event, I've got private property, residential. I've got, have Bob and Red been put to rest? No, sorry. Don't worry, they will once we sort this. They'll be fine, they'll be happy. Have they had a funeral? I got no. This is, I got all messed up here. And that went back to the no autopsy and the, I don't know what happened there, but that mixed me right up. Okay. I've got access. Easy planned, watched, stalked. They had footage, opportunity, family ties, regular visits to a certain location, following the daughter. And there's a money trail connection, and it's got to do with officials. Motive, revenge, money. And they're psychopaths. They're psychopaths. Then I've got the vehicle, because I'm trying to figure out how these guys are getting around, because I keep going back to the same vehicle at Mr. Ellis's incident. I've got there's arms and there's martial artists involved. Then I couldn't do the perps because that would take me days to do all 3 perps, so I left that to the others. Do all the perps share any marked symbols? I thought they might have a tat the same as each other or something like that. No, I'm not picking that up. Is the perp known to the government? Yes. Have they served time? No. Are they on parole? No. Are they escaped prisoners? No. I've got the perp's vehicle. So it's like a truck, long wheelbase, 4-wheel drive. It's a land-based, obviously. I've got new, but it's got bullet holes in the side of it somewhere. It's very quiet. I've got it's blue and black with silver on it. It came up as mostly black. It had like a blue, almost a stripe. Then I've got the perps, what their heads were like at the time. Mentally unstable, manic, revengeful, angry, out of control, planned, relieved, no feelings of regret. It was just a job. Then I asked, is there potential for the perp to act again? Yes. So it's horrible, horrible.
All right. So here's the deal. So it's a lot of information. Now, I'm going to read the news article, and I am going to leave a lot of things out because it's very graphic. The names are Kathy and Samantha Neverland were brutally murdered at their Bardstown home in 2014. Their killer was never found. This is from Shay McAllister, Taylor Walter, published 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time, November 19th, 2019. Bardstown mother and daughter, who already gone through so much, were attacked and brutally murdered at their home, and no one knows why. No one knows who did it, and the case still remains unsolved. No one ever heard a bad thing about Kathy and Samantha Neverland. The two police said they beloved and they loved and they would love to know, and everyone who knew them, they loved them. They were really two good people who tried to be the best in their surroundings and make things better, the relative Stacy Hubbard said. Kathy was an elementary school teacher. There's the school connection. And Bardstown and Samantha was a typical teen. She was getting ready for prom and stressing over schoolwork. Their family was like any other, doing their best to stay positive, even after recently losing their family patriarch to cancer. During the course of our investigation, we have seen that they were just upstanding citizens. Scotty Sharp at the Kentucky State Police said, "You know, a student and a teacher, just like your neighbor." So she was a teacher. The two's reputation made it all stranger with Kathy did not show up for work one April morning. There's the April connection. When we went to check on the teacher, they were shocked at what they saw. Kathy and Samantha, the two people described as all as good, was brutally murdered in their own home. The newspaper reports it was a gruesome scene. It was absolutely heartbreaking, Sharp said. Samantha, a young, hopeful teenager, has been stabbed, and I'm not going to go into the details, it's too gruesome. Her mother, Catherine, had both knife and bullet wounds. The two have been brutally beaten and killed. The details of their deaths were dark, despite police finding no reason to connect them to any bad people or situation. There were few clues, but surveillance footage did catch a black car near the home that night. Kentucky State Police said whoever's in that car was in that house during the time the crime was committed, Jeremy Thompson said. Police were never able to find the car or a suspect in this case. People speculated that two may have been connected to Jason Ellis or that a family member may have just killed them. Police said Samantha's older sister, Holly, has worked with investigators to try to find answers and solutions. Everybody's a suspect to a certain extent, KSP said, Sharp. But I can say that the older daughter has been cooperative when the investigation has talked to us, has spoken to us, and she keeps in contact with us with all times. We still have no connections or rumors or not enough for an arrest. She further states, I miss them more than anybody in the world, Holly says. No one realizes just how much I could trade places with them. The mystery continues. The locals said the story of the Neverland's death shook the town. How could such sweet, innocent people be so viciously attacked and killed? Just like the Jason Ellis murder, that for the community, because there weren't bad people there. It said it twice, just like local blogger Richard Caldwell said. There was nothing about their public persons to suggest that anybody, in fact, died so gruesomely. That this kind of thing could happen right here in this town. It just shocked a lot of people. Just 7 months after their deaths, the Neverlands was sold. Their home was sold at an auction just for only $41,000. A new playground was also dedicated to Kathy the next year, and people continue to push on, but the murders will not be the last to disturb Bardstown. The Ballard family faced two tragedies with the 2 years, the disappearance of Crystal Rogers and the murder of her father, Tommy Ballard, just over a year later, and the news continues to cover the stories. Exhibit A. Stand by when I hit this button and make sure I hit the audio. Let's see here. Now, when I play these videos, let's see here. Make sure and watch the faces.
Can somebody turn their TV off? That's
good.
Sorry.
They were two really good people who tried their best to make their surroundings better.
Even in the face of tragedy, losing the family patriarch to cancer, the pair stayed positive.
Samantha was a highly intelligent young lady. She was getting ready to go to prom. She was looking forward to that. She got a prom dress, and her family was excited for her.
Looking forward to life's big moments, until that life was abruptly cut short.
I miss them more than anything in the world. No one realizes just how much I wish I could trade places with them.
Off a windy Bardstown road, on a seemingly normal night, Kathy Netherland and her daughter Samantha were attacked inside their home.
Well, Samantha was stabbed and her throat was cut. That's been out there for a long time. And then Kathy was also had knife wounds and was shot as well.
The details are dark, describing that night from April 2014.
We loved them when they were here on Earth. We love them now since they're not here. So we try to focus on that, but there's no question it's very hard.
The clues have been few and far between, but a black car caught on camera near the home that night is considered the largest lead.
Whoever was in the car was in that house during the time this crime was committed.
They never found that car. They never named a suspect.
And I want to know why. Why would somebody go and attack my sister? Why would somebody shoot my mother?
Detectives say they've questioned everyone, even family.
I can say that the older daughter has been cooperative in the investigation and has talked to us and spoken to us and keeps in touch with us at all times. I know that there's rumors going around, but we can't stop the rumors.
Rumors not enough for an arrest. The detectives still searching for the facts.
And the fact that they died so gruesomely, the fact that that kind of thing could happen right here in this area, it shocked a lot of people.
7 months after the brutal murder, the Netherlands' Bardstown home was sold at auction for $41,000. The next year, a new playground was dedicated to Kathy Netherland. But those murders would not be the last in the small Kentucky town, not even close. Tomorrow night at 6, we can...
All right, Exhibit B. Let me close this out. And let me make sure I get the audio on this one, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here we go.
In 2014, their family is upset a special prosecutor is not also looking into this case, which has been held for 9 years.
WOKY's Mark Vanderhoff joins us now to explain. Mark?
Yeah, that's right. Sarah Harden reached out to us after a new development in the murder cases of Jason Ellis, Crystal Rogers, and Tommy Ballard. Those three have a new special prosecutor, which has Harden asking, why don't her family members have one?
I was sitting at home, and my dad called me and said, "Are you watching the news right now?"
The Monday after Easter 2014,
there's the black
Kathy Netherland and her daughter Samantha were brutally murdered in their Bardstown home.
They didn't do anything to harm anybody. They were good people. And my family misses them every day.
Their murders have gone unsolved, like others in Nelson County. Bardstown police officer Jason Ellis in 2013, mother of 5 Crystal Rogers, in 2015. And 1 year later, Rogers' father, Tommy Ballard. Sarah Hardin says she was curious when she heard Attorney General Daniel Cameron appointed a new special prosecutor in the cases of Ellis, Rogers, and Ballard.
At first, I was happy before I read the article because I thought, oh, we're going to get somewhere. And then I read it, and me personally, I took it as a spit in the face. Because it's like, why exclude my family? Are we not important?
In a previous statement, Cameron's office called the appointment a minor alteration in a multi-agency investigation.
He just ran for Kentucky governor and lost, by the way. Just a mental note.
But to Hardin, it's just another example of how her family's case has received less attention than others.
That's why I'm here. Because if nobody says anything, they'll be forgotten. And I made a deathbed promise to my dad that that wouldn't happen.
Hardin says her father, Mike Hardin, was close to his cousin, Kathy Netherland.
I've never seen him cry as hard as when he told me about Kathy and Smith. My dad loved her dearly.
The only lead investigators have made public in the case is footage of this black Impala captured speeding away from the Netherlands home.
Didn't somebody say Chevy Impala?
On U.S. Highway 150.
There's got to be somebody that knows something somewhere.
Now, we reached out to the Attorney General's office via email and phone to clarify some things about the appointment. We didn't receive any response. Mark.
Cameron would not respond. Exhibit C. Let me close a couple of windows here. And let's see here. Next one.
They're all connected.
Yeah.
All the murders.
Yep.
Nestled between Kentucky rolling hills,
Well, this town really has a lot of charm.
beyond the distilleries,
There's the distillery.
People are friendly.
beside the Bluegrass Parkway.
It was a Norman Rockwell painting. It was a very idyllic.
This tiny town takes you back in time.
I like to say Bardstown's a typical Kentucky town, but it truly isn't. It's very special.
Most celebrated for its signature spirit.
Orange, a little bitters.
Bardstown is called the bourbon capital of the world.
Do water, very important to do that. You stir.
With an emphasis on agriculture and tourism, those who live here are proud of their old Kentucky home.
I love Bardstown. It's so beautiful.
But beyond the bourbon and the beauty, there's a story.
We've like a fractured bone that we've never put a cast on. It's still there. It still hurts.
A story that starts in 2013.
Hello. Officer down, Bluefield Road.
It was the worst day of my life.
Can see about the status of the officer. Is he conscious?
I believe he's dead.
The next chapter only 1 year later, when a teacher and her teenage daughter are home alone.
Kathy was a teacher there in Bardstown. That's actually how they got reported. Check on that morning.
They weren't bad people. There was nothing about their public.
Next exhibit. Now, this right here is going to tie everything together when you watch this. I can't play this because it's court TV, but I had it marked and I hit the wrong button. Let me hit play and skip through some of it. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. of course, I missed the. Let me go back. Can you still see the screen I'm on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to show you a photograph. So remember, let's see here. Remember that guy? Remember Melinda's picture?
Mm-hmm.
Hug?
Yeah,
Okay, now let me
exactly.
show you. Right, now let me show you the other picture. Where'd it go? Let's see if I can pull it back up. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I had it marked. There it is.
Great sketches, Melinda.
Thank you. Oh my God.
I forgot I'm on a touch screen. See if I can get a big close up of that face again.
You too, Angela.
Thank you. I still feel that mother's heart just aching. It's just awful.
Yeah, I feel sick.
Especially that panic, and she first saw that, is just that panic, and it's awful.
Sooner they get these
There we
scumbags,
go.
the better.
Now,
Oh my
can you
God.
see it?
If you just put a hat on my on him, it looks like the sketch I did.
Yeah.
But only without the mustache, you know.
Yeah.
So, you see everything coming together?
Yes.
Yes.
And that smell made sense. I remember I said a chemical, like cleaning chemical smell. Well, I haven't been in this distillery before, but
So,
it's probably what it smells.
the guy that got arrested for Crystal Rogers case was Huck something.
Hmm.
He owns a construction company.
Okay.
The guy that you just saw was one of his employees.
Okay.
So that's where the concrete, and that's where the school, the mother worked at, all that came into play. Now, we're going to do something we never done before. Our next case is Crystal Rogers, and our goal is to find the body.
Okay.
Body.
Okay.
Okay.
I usually don't disclose it, but we are on this one because it's an active case and they cannot find it.
Okay.
They have ideas. So after the show, I'll submit the picture. You already know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
We think they're all tied, allegedly. So you all do your thing, and in 2 weeks, I'll bring you back, and we'll see how it goes, and just go from there.
All right.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You all have any questions before I let everybody go? Inbal, does that make sense now? This is your
It
first time
really
seeing
did.
it.
It came together spookily.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
So, but I do believe somehow they're all related. Yes,
Yes.
that is my thought. But it's interesting how everybody hit on something all the way around: the black shutters, the car, the school, all that stuff.
Something I was going to say, but I'm not going to say because you'll yell.
Hey,
Always
But-
about second guessing myself. The first thing she showed me was the funeral of the detective last week. That was the first thing she showed me. And I said, whose funeral is this? And I saw the two boys in the front.
So that's our goal. So I'll get the picture out to you, ladies, and we'll go from there. So from coast to coast around the world, you all have a good night, everybody. Thank you all.
Thank you.
See
Good
you,
night,
gals.
everybody.
Bye bye.
See you, Grizzy.
Bye.